G'day YouTube, my name's Lance and welcome to Bundy Bear's Shed. Happy New Year, happy 2021. So we've all made it through. We got through the 2020 year, which wasn't the best year, was it, when you had a look at it? Yeah, just one of those things. We've had better ones. The old coronavirus, it seemed to rattle a few people around, and yeah, we've all had elections and may or may not have went how you preferred them to go, but that's just how it is, eh? I'm just checking that my recording thing's going all right, because this is my second recording of the stew, because the first one, halfway through I had to stop, and then when I got going again I hadn't pressed the button correctly. So anyway, big balls up, not to worry. But over the Christmas break, the weather report, it's hot and steamy. I've got the little microphone down here this time because it's going through my sound recording stuff. So with the cloud coming over, it's sunny but cloudy. So with there might be a bit of rain about, I'm not sure, but with the sun coming out and expanding the shed and the cloud coming over, the shed's making a hell of a din today. So with this, it will take quite a bit of that out for me. If I just use the microphone on the camera, it gets really noisy. So yeah, so hopefully I can get a lot of it out there. But look, over the Christmas break, we had a great Christmas with the family. Went to Tim and Ellie's, the young fella's place, and had Christmas there with some extended family. They get married next year, and it was good to meet a few of their extended family that we hadn't met and have a Christmas lunch and a yarn and a carry on. Yeah, which was lovely. We got between Christmas and New Year, we got a little bit of rain, and we ended up with 75 mil in about 24 hours roughly. I think it was a total of 80 mil in a day and a half, but with the rain, it wasn't storm rain, it was gentle rain, and look, the place is looking a treat. It soaked in slowly, and it was enough that all the tanks on the house overflowed. The tank out the back here overflowed on the shed. The grass is beautiful, the paddock's looking a treat, but because the place was so dry and it was so gentle, it's all soaked in, so it's been good for the earth, but the dams and that, we haven't had any runoff really. The dam on the right as you go up towards the shed from the house, Kelly dog saw a bit of water in there and thought, whoopee, my pool's back, my swimming pool's back ready. So she charges off down for a swim. Well, she walked across most of it. There would be a little bit of a bowl extra inside there, but down the deep bit. But yeah, it didn't. She didn't go into that, but she could walk along it. So it's about 3/4 Kelly height. So that's our official test to see how deep it is. So look, that was good. We enjoyed that. The days between Christmas and New Year we worked. The business has grown over the past 12 months, and with the business growing, it just got important to go in, like 80 parcels one day. The first day after Christmas there was 80 to do, and it just kept everyone busy. Nicole's computer played up, so down to Harvey Norman trying to get that bastard fixed, and they tell you some bullshit, these people. But anyway, they it looks like a Windows update didn't take properly, and because Judy said when she shut it down the evening before, it said update and shut down, and she said yep, no worries. So next morning when we went to fire it up, because usually you fire it up and it says do not turn off, we're doing the updates. Well, it wouldn't fire up, and it'd get to the screens but it wouldn't open Windows. So something went wrong with the Windows update, and so I took it to Harvey Norman. It's still in warranty, and they said, it's not a warranty problem. Probably halfway through the upload you've either switched it off or you've had a power surge. And we said, well, we didn't do that, and we can't have a power surge. We've got specialist surge stuff. I've got this big panel up in the upstairs at work with all the switching and that, and it's got battery backups, it's got surge protection, it's got we got all the bells and whistles there. So for some reason something went wrong with this computer. So they're on to me about doing it says, it kept coming up, I was trying to fix it and it kept coming up, your hard drive's encrypted with a 40-digit password. You need this to make any changes. So I didn't know about that, so I took it to Harvey Norman and they said, you got to give us this 40-digit password. And I said, well, I haven't got it. They said, you got to have it. And so they said, what about Sharp? Sharp Bundaberg puts a point of sale on our computers for us. And they said, they've probably got it. So they didn't have it. And anyway, they rang me and said, it's time to come pick your computer up if you like. So I went to go and pick it up. And they said, oh, well, there you go, she's back. And I said, what, we're right to go? And they said, no. And I said, what do you mean, no? I brought it here to be fixed. They said, you can't give us the 40-digit password, so we can't get into your hard drive to do anything. And I said, oh, shit. And I said, well, what's the option? And they said, oh, I don't know, we could put a new hard drive in, we could do this and that. And I said, what's a new hard drive? And so new hard drive's $300 or something. So I said, just put one of them in, get me going. And so anyway, on the way out, I bought another computer. We have another one that was getting really slow, and like it's years old. And I thought, well, I'll just, if I've got to get Sharp Bundaberg in to put the POS on one computer, they can put it on two at the same time, and I've got to pay them to do it. So, that's what I chose to do. So anyway, I was worried about this password. So I went home and I Googled it, SSD password, and they said, oh, that's a FDE, full disk encryption on the solid state drives, and it's an anti-hacking sort of thing, and it's a safety measure that encrypts the information going onto your hard drive, and then it gets encrypted on the way out, so you can read, Massey Ferguson Tractor goes in as gobbledygook and comes out as Massey Ferguson Tractor again. So it's just encryption as a safeguard, and Harvey Norman didn't know about this. So I said, well, you've only got to Google it, it's there. They said, oh, we don't know. Yeah, I spoke to the boss, he didn't know either. And so we're putting a new hard drive in. So I said, yeah, all right. So we're going to have it done it's Sunday now, Sunday the 3rd. They were going to have it done 28th. And they'll ring me when it's done. Haven't heard. Next day, haven't heard. So who knows? They were going to have it done, within one working day, and they've not heard boo. So we're going to have to chase that up. One of those things. My new ute, who knows when that's coming? That was coming on the 16th of December, then the 22nd, then the 30th, and now they're saying they can't get truck drivers because of the Christmas break to get them up here on time. And I said, well, on our contract it said it had to be supplied mid-December, 16th of December, which was our agreement. And they said, oh, but we can't be held to that. It's out of our out of our control. So who knows? I've got a ute coming sometime, and who knows what happens from there. I keep folding my arms, but I've got a microphone there, so not the best thing to do. And I don't know what's happening with the bloody ute. The canopy on the back that I was speaking to you about with regard to polishing the surface, or which way we go with that. Well, I was talking to Frank at the end of our building, and I see him wrapping cars. He's done the Ross Grey Camaro, their advertising car. He's done a Cross the Waves courtesy bus, and he's done a few recently. And so I said to him, man, how hard is it to do that bloody wrapping? I've been thinking of wrapping the doors. And what got me going on, I saw a picture of the ute. It was a Land Cruiser, same as I've got, and they had a canopy sort of around the same lines, but they had the silver frame, the alloy frame, but they had the doors wrapped, or doors painted white. And I thought, God, that's probably sensible, not a bad thing. You haven't got to worry about polishing it all the time. You just got this little bit of frame to polish. So I spoke to Frank about it, and he said, look, if you want some, I'll get you some, because he does it. He said, you're better off to go to the expensive stuff. Reason being, it's got better sticky on it, and then it breathes. So when you're putting it on, if anyone that's put a contact on or something, it actually bubbles up. It's very hard not to get an air bubble. You don't put soapy water on, you put it on dry, and if you try and work a bubble off, it'll get to a point where it'll form a crease because it's stretched. But he said just hold your thumb over the bubble, and by holding your thumb over the bubble, it'll breathe and the bubble will just disappear. And so I thought, oh, all right then. So I bought it some. I did a test wrap on one of the doors and works like a bloody treat. Yeah, it's really good. And so I've got a bit of footage at the end of the stew. I've just gone for a walk around that this morning. And look, I'm really happy with it. On the back panel, I've done the 2 side doors and the back panel of the front box, a little one. And then I've got checker plate down the bottom, so that when I want to put a drum or a can of paint or a tyre or whatever against the back of the ute there to hold it in, I don't mark up the white. So, and along above the checker plate and where the white goes down behind the checker plate a little bit, I've got a bit of aircraft tie down rail, and it's got little buttons that you can pull off and you can move it along to secure your load. And they're good for 500 kilos straight pull and 300 kilos sideways. So they're a strong little thing. They don't look much, but they're quite strong apparently. And look, in my ute, I'm not going to have all that much tension. I'm not going to have like 1 ton in the back of the ute. So look, it'll be fine. So look, that's looking good. I've done a I just did a bit of a walk around before I started filming up the shed here of that. So look, that's come up all right. The switch panel inside, I got my shear and I've cut some steel and I've made a little extension box for a switch panel. I need another panel for the cell-fi units and things like that. So I don't know how it got a bit dark. When you're out in the sun trying to film, you can't see sometimes into the darkness, but it may be better. Look at that, we've got a shower of rain on the roof. Hey, how good's that? And so I made a little switch panel and I covered it in marine carpet, and I insulated the roof where the fridge goes in marine carpet. And yeah, look, it's coming along nicely. The 2 units, the 2 battery charging units, I've got 2 C-Tech units. Now, I'm trying not to use Chinese in this build, but some of the stuff I've already had, so I couldn't see the sense in just chucking it all away. I would have loved a Red Arc unit. I approached Red Arc to see if they wanted to be in the deal somewhere, but I haven't heard back. So I've had this C-Tech stuff there, so I thought, well, it cost me like $300 to finish that system off, where it was $700 or $800 for a Red Arc system. The Red Arc one probably would have been better at 40 amps, but this is 20 amps charge, and it takes my solar from either panel in to the battery. The switch panel is a little Chinese thing that I just had coming before I decided to go that way, and so I've used it. The front box is pretty well done, apart from a little bit of extra wiring. But look, you'll see on the walk around at the end, it's okay. Well, it's coming up nice. I've got to do the big box yet, and I'm just going to wrap the doors on the big box, polish the frame, and just wrap the doors, and it'll look nice when it's sitting on the ute whenever I get the ute. So anyway, another thing that that I got up to that I haven't told you about is back years ago. Look, when Jude's mum was alive, her dad passed away at the farm at Nanango, and we eventually had to get her mum off the farm, and so her mum come to stay with us and went to live with her sister in Mergen at the time. And anyway, the family was going in getting bits of pieces they wanted, and Jude said she wouldn't mind a little bit of something to remember the place by. So there was a corn sheller there, and we bought it. Some of the family just went in and they took this. I'll take that, and I might grab this and that, and the old girl let it all go, and that's no problem. But we said we'd like to buy something, and so we gave her a couple $100 for this corn sheller. And when she was staying with us one time, we were in the shed here, and the rats had actually got into it, and they'd wrapped a heap of, the plastic baling twine. They'd wrapped a heap of that up in and around it. And so me and Jude's mum, we pulled it all out and got it all going and working. And anyway, over under the pallet racking over the back there, behind where we used to park the caravan, I just had it in its own little spot there, and I'd bring the caravan in the front there, and I had a few knickknacks around it and things like that. And it's something that we never looked at on a daily basis or played with. We just had it. And the caravan parking in front of it, you couldn't even see in there really. But anyway, look, the part of the story is that we moved the caravan out, and it lives up the front there now. And I was having a shuffle around, and I come across this corn sheller, and the white ants had eaten it completely. And I'm heartbroken there. What a mess. And the mechanical bits, the steel bits were there, but the frame was just eaten out hollow, and it was just in a heap on the ground. And I thought, oh man, we had no idea it was happening because of where it was tucked away. I've cleaned all the white ants. We do get termites along this back wall here, so anything wooden has to be up. But so anyway, I went and got Jude and showed her, and I was a bit upset by it. I had a bit of a tear in the eye, and she says, oh, you know, if only we'd looked after that better. And hindsight's a wonderful thing. We could have put it up into the house or whatever. It's just, I thought on the concrete slab here, it'll be fine, but it wasn't. So anyway, that was this last year, and I got to thinking about it, and I thought, oh, you know, I felt bad about putting it there really, and like it was in my care up the back here, and I thought, oh, that's a bit of a shit show, Lance. So I decided I'd try and rebuild it and bring it back up to scratch. And so that's what I did. And so for the last 16 weeks before Christmas, we started on it. I started on it. And you'll notice the videos dropped right off. Coming up to Christmas, there was only the stew and not much else happening. And the reason being, I was putting my Mondays, which is my normal filming day, I was putting my Mondays into this corn sheller. And look, it's come up nice. I'm not much at woodwork, you know, getting the nice mortises and that. And I've got a mate, Chris Dodds, and his dad, John, is an ex-chippy. Well, he's a chippy, but he's an ex-council chippy. And so anyway, he come and had a look, and I said, you know, if he could help with some of the timber bits and pieces, I could do the rest. So we had a couple of goes at it. Once it was too narrow, I think, and we had to widen it out. Then the feet were too big. I asked him to change that and bug around. But he got the main frame done, and I took over. So he did the legs and you know, the main square bits and got it looking nice. But I took over the rest. But there was nothing left to go on hardly. There was a couple of frames, slight little frames that we could just get a shell off to get an approximate size, but we couldn't get we didn't have enough to get a full pattern. And so we were both looking on the internet, looking for corn shellers, and if the wheel's that big, this needs to be this big to get the size right. And I mean, all that sort of thing went on. So anyway, after he was working on it for a little while, and then after that, it come back into my care, and I had to get all the mechanics working and make changes to how I wanted, and put all the hinges for the mechanical actions working and all that sort of thing. So it took around 16 weeks. John might have had it for about, we probably started 20 weeks out, but then about 16 weeks it was serious work on it. And a couple of the screws, the long screws with the flat head, they're a pointy screw with thread on the bottom, and they're tapered, and then they've got a bit of, you see them everywhere in old furniture. I wouldn't mind replacing a couple of them. I can't find any nice ones for it, but the end result is I wanted to do it for Jude for Christmas, and we went away for Christmas Day, but on Boxing Day I got up the shed here, and I got it and I put it on the carryall of Goldie and took it down to give to Jude. So yeah, she was happy with it. Yeah, we sort of got it well, it's not exactly as it was, which it never can be, but it's bloody close. And when we all look at it there now, up in the pool room, we've shifted it to the pool room where the white ants can't get at it. And once we look at it now, we know the history of it and all that sort of thing. So, I mean, like I was saying, Jude's mum, I think it was her grandparents, their maiden name was Usher, and they came from the States and they landed in Brisbane and they brought this corn sheller with them back in the 1800s. So it's an old one, and I can't even think of the brand now. We could just see a little bit of stenciling on it. I may even get that stenciling put on a sticker, and then you know, a negative sticker, and try and get that back on with a bit of nuggety brush or something. But we'll see, see if that happens. But Jude was happy with it. It's sort of, she was upset when it was gone, and she was pleased when it's done. So I think we've done a good thing there. We've done the right thing. Got that back going. So so that's the woodwork gone for a while. Thank Christ. Oh, not much of woodwork. As soon as they make woodcraft welding rods, I'll probably be a lot better. But anyway, look, that's done, and yeah, look, thanks to John for helping. I paid him, you know, I paid all products and paid him a few $100s for helping with the frame, and then I did all the rest of it. So it works well now. We had a lot of adjusting to do. You sit it in the frame, and because we didn't know the exact dimensions, I had to take pieces out, and one of the side walls I had to replicate because at 1/2 inch thick it was too fat, and once we got the full working mechanism in, I had to remake that at 10 millimetres and things like that. But look, it looks okay. It's come up good. There's a quick little video at the end of the stew of that. Those of you that follow me on Instagram and Facebook and all that, and Bundy Bear Shed on Facebook, will have seen what I was buggering around. I was putting photos. No, look, not with that. The photos were of the canopy. Yeah, the canopy and the switches, not that. I was keeping that a secret. Yeah, so anyway, I've got one little mention of it there. I shared Judy's thing, so that's good. The Facebook page, we've started a special Facebook page for Bundy Bear's Shed, and it's just trying to keep me personal stuff and the Bundy Bear Shed stuff a bit separate. It's light-hearted. It's just there for a bit of fun. Hopefully the channel's educational and fun. And so we've started a specific Facebook page for Bundy Bear's Shed. We do have a specific Instagram page now for Bundy Bear's Shed. So Instagram's not bad if you're just taking a photo or something, or something like that. I'm still learning about that. Sometimes when I was building the ute and I was talking to a couple of the sponsors that are looking at helping with the ute, they said, well, how many Instagram followers you got? And I said, oh, I don't know, probably 80, 90. And they said, oh, you should push that bit because Instagram will help other bits too. So that's what I'm doing. So we got Instagram, we got the YouTube channel, and now we have the Facebook page for Bundy Bear's Shed. So like, subscribe, do all that stuff, interact with the channels and all that, and that just helps out no end. With the build of the ute, back to that, I'm bouncing around a bit. There's a channel called Mr. Buckaroony, and he's an Aussie bloke. Typical. He has camps sometimes. Next one I'm going, we get on like a house on fire, I know. And he's got a YouTube channel. He does 4-wheel driving, camping, cooking, that sort of thing. And he does shirts for charity and things like that. So he's just recently gone through a thing putting different batteries in his ute, and he's gone to a lithium, and I may follow his lead yet. We have to put a new auxiliary battery in the canopy. So look, we'll just see. I sell Century batteries, so I can get deep cycle ones for about half the price of the lithium. But he's got a lithium. The iTech World in Western Australia, Buck has done a deal with them, and have a look at his video on the batteries, and it gives you a code to put in, and you put Mr. Buck 10 and get 10% off a $900 lithium battery. So 120 amp or something like that it is. So look, I'm wondering whether to go with the lithium battery, because with the lithium you can take them way down to flat, well, pretty flat, where the other ones you can just take the top off them all the time. So don't quote me on these figures, but an AGM deep cycle, you can probably take it down to, say, at 120 amps, you've probably got 50 usable, maybe. With the lithium at 120, I think you've got about 100 amps, 105 amps usable for this battery. So, and the other advantage is that I think I weighed my battery in at 23 kilos or 25 kilos, can't remember. But the lithium's 12 kilos, so a lot lighter. So we might get into that. That DC-DC setup I've put in the box, it's good for both. With the shed's a bit of a mess at the moment. I've been trying to get a bit organised, but with the Christmas break and working and all that, we're just wearing out. Yesterday we thought we'd have a bit of a camp, and kids ring up and say, "Oh, we're coming over for a barbecue for tea, eh?" And all right, so we had so you just sort of lay down, get ready for a camp next year. Oh, okay. So we're thawing meat, and Jude's bloody cooking potatoes for potato salad and getting organised. So we're both getting a bit knackered, so we're going to try and have a bit of a camp this afternoon. But I think we just got a call from Mum saying she's coming out after lunch, so that's probably buggered that up. But anyway, that's how it is. Nothing much we can do about it. I've been on the mower for a day over the break, just trying to tidy the place up. And there'll be a day on the mower each weekend now, just with the rain and the grass. And I really hope we get a bit of runoff rain to get some decent water in the dams before the rain clears out and leaves us. It's just it'll just be nice to start a year with them full. There's a low coming in off out of the Gulf, coming down. They're saying it may be a cyclone. If that hits the coast and gets down as far as Mackay or Rockhampton, something like that, because they turn clockwise down here, that'll bring the water in, and we should get a lot of rain if that happens. So I'm hoping it happens. Whether it does or not, who knows. But I've still got a lot of tidy up in the shed here, and I've got the steering box completely off the TE-A20 now. I'm trying to work a bit of time where I can get that video sorted. I'm just really battling with time. The days off we normally have, we've had to work, and then we had Christmas, so with family, then a day on the mowers, and yeah, we're just running out of time. So next year, I hope I get a bit more time next year. I don't know what's going to happen, but yeah, it's just with the channel and everything else we have going on. Yeah, we're just really busy people. So anyway, could be worse. Could have nothing to do, sitting on our ass watching TV. God, that would be such a long day. But anyway, the old COVID, it's having a bit of a rattle again. I just got a notification there's a few more cases popped up in Victoria now. So yeah, well, hopefully it's not too bad. We'll just have to see. But look, that's just about all. At the end of the stew, there's a walk around the canopy. There's a walk around the little corn sheller. Once again, have a great new year, everyone. Go in with a positive outlook, and things will probably happen. And that's about it. I don't know what tractor work we're going to get up to. I've got plenty to do, but I've got plenty to do everywhere. So I'll see. I don't want to start the steering box video until I'm organised and I can just get a good run without rain on the roof and all that sort of thing. So we'll see. So we'll get there. But that's probably the next video coming out, if I can get time. So we'll see how we go. I was going to work tomorrow on the Monday, but as the day goes on today and I'm looking at what I got to do here, I'm thinking I might not go to work Monday. So we'll see. I've got a few staff back then, so that won't be so bad. Ross won't be back for a week. He has an extra week every year, just has a decent break. But we found this year with going in, working in the middle, so by the time and the kids wanted to go out for New Year's, so we've been looking after the grandkids. So I've got the motorbikes going, and we had a bit of stale fuel in a Carbia 1, so I had to get that going. And so anyway, yeah, been doing everything but hopping up in the shed here, but that's just how it is. That's living. So yeah, it's all good. So anyway, look, thanks for dropping by. Have a happy new year. Watch the videos, like, subscribe, do all that sort of stuff. I'll see if I can get a couple of these jobs finished this year. God, bloody long old haul, some of it. I haven't found anyone to paint the bonnet on the 135. I may have to do that myself, which I'm not looking forward to, but if I do, I do. That's it, but that's just another job. Not much filming in painting, I tell you. Well, bloody sanding away, it's like watching paint dry, isn't it? Or grass grow, yeah, anyway. But thanks for dropping by. We'll catch you next week. Hopefully we're all back on track and we'll see you then.
Well, have a look at this. Now this is a corn sheller. So you put the corn down in the top here, and there's a series of like a sharp wheel and that in there. And then if I can get this camera back out and turn the handle here, that takes the husks off the corn, or it takes the little yellow bits off and brings them down through this shaker down here. Now, the story behind this, we've got it sitting up in the pool room at the moment. You can see the bikes in the background, and we're trying to keep it in good order. I'll bring you around the other side here. We've got a bit of a Christmas mess happening, and that there, I had a Judy's great grandparents, I believe, bought that out from America, and when they bought it out, it was something that they actually brought on the ship with them when they came out from the States. So their family name was Usher, and they come into the port of Brisbane, I believe. But anyway, they had it. Then Jude's mum had it, her mum and dad. That was an old family heirloom that they had for years, and they actually used it. All the kids and look, the nephews, they can all remember having to turn on the handle there and doing the corn or the maize for the chooks and pigs and things like that. So that there is what we've done, and I did have a bit of help, like I'll explain a bit later on, or explain in the stew. But look, we've resurrected it. We've got it back to where it should be, and we've got it sitting up the front here where it can't come to any harm like it did in the past. So that's about 16 weeks worth of mucking around. So for those that have noticed that the video content slowed a little bit, I'll be a bit sneaky in doing this thing, and I didn't want to tell anyone in case Judy got wind of it. So there was about 3 people in the world knew about it, and it's come up quite well. I'll come around the other side again. You can see we're still got all our Christmas cheer hanging around, and as you know, I don't mind a bit of a drink, so I've got a few bottles of vodka and rum and liqueurs, and anyway, that's beside the point. And so that's it. I found some paint. It did have a sign on the side of it there in stencil writing. I may try and do that. Now the end bits there we've made out of ply at the moment. Well, they were just out of pine really, but yeah, we've sort of just done them. I'm waiting for it to age a little bit, and there is a couple of little things to finish yet, like make a spacer in the lathe for there. But we'll get there. It's pretty well done. I had to get it out of the shed and give it to Judy. I was planning on having it done for Christmas, and I was a day late, but that's fine. We're only a day late because we had to. We were away for Christmas Day, so there you go. Now this looks like a bit of a setup, but look, this is my Colorado that we've traded in, and on the back there I've got my shear. I was trying to think of the name of that. Yeah, I've got the shear there, and I've been buggering around making a couple of switch panels and things like that. You can see at the back here where I took the toolbox off, the bit of rubbish under there, that needs to be cleaned up a little better. But on the canopy, if you remember, we were talking about polishing and painting and all that sort of thing, how we would go with that. Now what I chose to do was wrap it. Now Frank from Bundy Bear Trophies and Gifts, he does wrapping cars and that down there, and I've always been a bit interested in it, so I went and had a yarn to Frank and said, how would this wrap go on the toolbox? And he said, yeah, he was doing one for another bloke in the shed, for Tony. And he said, oh, it's bloody easy to do. So I said, all right, grab me some of that white wrap. So that's what we did. And I pulled the handles out and I put a nice Allen head cap screws there. And the folder, look, that's a bit dark. It may adjust, but you can see a switch panel that I've made there. On my Instagram page, and I think on Bundy Bear Shed on Facebook, I showed the bit of progress of making this. And this piece here, this panel, that's aluminium and this is steel. And that's why I had the shear on the back of the ute. I had to make a box to bring the switches out. So we've done that. We've insulated the roof of it. That's just an air vent for the fridge. Now, on the back, oh, look at the glare there. I'll try and come this way, be less glare. I can't put any catches here until we get the new tray and we know how high it is. And you can see the corners of the wrap. It actually folds over quite nicely over the edge, and apparently it'll stay on, no worries. You can see I've folded back up over that edge there, and it's been in the sun for a week or two now. Nothing's happening. I cut in around the edges and that's not going to peel up at all. So on the bottom there I put a bit of checker plate, because as that sits in the ute, if I want to put a drum or something like that up against it, this being a plastic sort of film, I didn't think it would last all that well. Now this is self-healing plastic, so if I get a scratch or something like that up against it, well, I can hit it with a heat gun and it should fix itself. Now you'll see this rail along here. Now that's out of the aircraft industry as a tie down, and I got this from ARB. And so the little things come out, so when I'm parked in town I can have nothing here, but I can sit stuff up against it. When I need to use it, I'm not sure how the lights are going to go, it's just so bright out here, it's early in the morning. And that'll lock in. Good for 500 kilograms this way, 300 kilograms straight up and down. So look, that's okay. That's come out all right. I do have the wrap to do the front toolbox yet, but we just haven't got there. So yeah, look, that's coming up pretty good. Yeah, the light's a bit of a problem showing you inside, but look, that's just how it is at the moment. So there you go. That's I haven't actually been just sitting drinking all the time. I've been doing a little bit.